So in my last tea talk, I said tea's tea, an example of a tauto stop, using tautology to stop debate, like it is what it is, what's done is done. But my friend Andrew Simpson instantly replied, no, Simon, tea is not tea. Well, thank you, Andrew, for your retorts to my tauto stop, because your response, tea is not tea, inspired me for our device of the day on today's Tea Talk, paradox. Paradox is very different to a tauto stop. With tauto stop, we say x equals x, t is t. With paradox, we might say x does not equal x. T is not t. Crazy, huh? And the effect is the complete opposite, because where tauto stop shuts down debate, paradox opens it wide open because it's so irresistibly intriguing. A paradox is when we say something apparently absurd, which on investigation turns out to be true. Like tea is not tea. It sounds absurd, but it could be true for all sorts of reasons. Purists might say tea that's too milky is not really tea. Traditionalists might say teabag tea is not really tea. It should be loose leaf. Technically, any tea that doesn't contain the Camellia cisensis leaf is not tea. So fruit tea and herbal tea is not really tea. I'm having peppermint tea today. My tea is not tea. So ironically, pucker tea is not always pucker tea. But you see how paradoxes get us thinking. As well as being intriguing, they can entertain and ultimately enlighten, teaching us more about the world. Some of the greatest writers in the history of the English language have used paradox this way, like Lewis Carroll in Alice in Wonderland, which is jam-packed with paradoxes. When the Red Queen tells Alice, it takes all the running you can do to keep in the same place. Doesn't that get you thinking it could be a metaphor for life, work, business, the competitive race? George Orwell famously used paradox as well in 1984, War is Peace, Freedom is Slavery, etc. But perhaps most famously with his line in Animal Farm, all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. This line is one of the most quoted lines in the history of the English language, proving that whilst all sentences are equal, some are more equal than others. So you see how paradox can intrigue, engage and enlighten. They can be used in politics. There are tributes today to the MP Frank Field, who passed away yesterday. He was said to be someone who could think the unthinkable. We get paradoxes in business too. Global is local, small is big, less is more. I'm in Serbia at the moment, where I've been working with directors from Starbucks this week, and I stumbled across a great quote from their legendary leader, Howard Schultz. Enough is never enough. A paradox, but ain't that the truth? And it could resonate in so many ways in terms of ambition, wealth, customer service. Interpret it how you like. I sometimes use paradoxes with my clients, getting them thinking about speeches. I might say, your weakness is your strength, a reference to the power of vulnerability. Or I might say, less is more, the power of brevity. Or I might advise they plan for spontaneity, preparing for if things go wrong. So if a joke falls flat, well, it worked in front of the bathroom mirror, a phone rings, hello mum, or you trip up on the way to the leg turn and fall flat on your arse. I will now take questions from the floor. Do you use paradoxes in work, home or life? Do you rush to relax? Does pain bring you pleasure? Maybe you're into ice baths or S&M. Or maybe you think that tea is not always tea. Meanwhile, I'm going to get back to my tea, even though, as we've established, this tea is not really tea. So maybe this tea talk hasn't been a tea talk. It really is all a bit Alice in Wonderland, isn't it? Anyway, it's time for me to drink the undrinkable.